Hello, Cancer. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Cancer, this is going to be your December 2025 read. This will be for your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node placements. Cross Watcher, if you're here, welcome. Discern the messages. Don't force anything to fit. Common sense, please, always, and thank you. And let's see. Thank you to anybody who has liked, shared, subscribed, commented, booked personal reads with me. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And if you are interested in a personal read, you can find the email to reach out to me in the description box below and the About section of the page. You reach out to me, and then I will provide you with all of the information that you need, okay? So I look forward to hearing from you all. And I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. So, Cancer, with that, let's just get into it here. Pardon, I'm kind of wearing out. It's a little bit later in the day than I usually am doing this, but I wanted to get one more of these December reads out to you guys, so here we are. All right, Spirit, for Cancers, Cancerian energy in the month of December 2025. What do they need to know? So it's hollow. Something's hollow. North Node, it's your future. The 9th house is exploration. You know, it's... I don't know if you're going into, like, when we talk exploration, I don't know, I'm seeing, like, caves and even homes. Like, where you're going, do things feel hollow? How do things feel to you? You know, it's kind of like you can have a house, and it can be, like, a shell, right? Like, a house isn't necessarily a home. It's, you know, who's in it, what's in it, that makes it a home. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about this, is, like, the comfort is what you bring. The shell itself, the shells, there's something about shells. The shell itself doesn't make it anything. A seashell, right? Like, it's still beautiful, it's still nice, but unless there's like a crab or a snail or something in it, it doesn't have, it's got energy. It's got life force energy, but it doesn't have life in it. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? So there's something about that. It's like, what can we bring to life? It's evanescence, bring me to life kind of thing. There's something about that there, though. We cure. We cure and we care. We cure and we care. Midhaven, Pinnacle Point, and Retrograde Review. It's like castles in the sand. Why the hell am I channeling Dolly Parton? Like, why is Dolly working 9, 2, 5, and then was it castles in the sand? Or no, that was Kenny Rogers. Maybe that's what, or islands in the stream, or oh my god, I don't even know, Cancer. Bear with me. Why we're going there, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just the conduit here. 36 and 15. 15 is the devil card in the original tarot. 36 doesn't have a thing, but the 9 breaks down, and I'm kind of seeing the 9 of Pentacles in my mind's eye with the way that feels to me. It's an independent energy that says, I have achieved more. Some of you may feel like you've achieved more than your fair share in something. Don't know why. I don't know if that's almost like I don't think it's a current guilt trip, Cancer. I think it's something that you've been told before, so you're kind of like, do I deserve this? Do I really belong where I think I'm going? Venus, beloved. Do I belong? 3rd house, communication. There's something about belonging here, Cancer. And with that, I'm going to pull this deck out. It's kind of like you're at a stop-go pivot point. It's like you're just kind of sitting back, imagining the biggest dream, feeling the biggest dream. Warrior. And the fledge. It's like you're... Stop beating yourself up. What are you... I feel like you're kind of beating on yourself a little bit here for some reason. This is like... I don't know. Taking the bar exam, and you find out you missed 2, and you're like, I should have known those. And even though you passed the test, it's like, I could have done better. When is your best enough, Cancer? When is your best enough? Because I see you kind of going through. Now, this could be schooling, this could be home, this could be life, this could be parenting, this could be budgeting, grocery shopping, right? It could be anything. I should have known better. I could have done that. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I try that? Why didn't I think of that? I don't even want to call it the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's a why didn't I's. You know? Can you cut yourself some slack? You're really like, you're such an achiever, right? Yeah, fulfillment. Glass half empty, glass half full. It's going to be about your perspective 2 and 2 here. Who was that? My God, the things that come up in these reads today. Chuck Woolery. Was it The Dating Game? We'll be back in 2 and 2, right? Wasn't it something like that? Like, that was way back, what, in the 80s maybe? Early 90s? Back in 2 and 2 or some shit like that. I know there might be something around like the two is something, and then deuces or 2 people, 2 sides of a situation. Summonsing, waiting for results, test results, waiting on results. There's definitely something going on here for you, Cancer. I don't feel like the energy here is a bit odd. You're in it, and you're there. You're in it, but you're not in it. You're a part of it, but you're not a part of it. You're almost like Houdini right now, Cancer. An enigma, maybe. People can't quite figure you out. They don't know where you've gone to. And it's funny because, like, in the silence of it all, you've gone within. You've gone within, Cancer. The best place to go when you don't know what else to do is to go within. Because you are doing some level of review. It's like, even though the retrogrades, being Saturn and Mercury, are over, you are still going through your process of review. Ruminating, if you want to call it that. What is the total sum of it all? There comes that Venus beloved again. Let's clarify. 4th, I said house, home from the start, right? Look at that. What's underlying it all? 4th house, home. What do I deserve? What am I worthy of? Where do I want to go? Some of you could be planning on moving. Somebody's place could have stained glass or very specifically edged window or round window, something very unconventional from the typical house. But it's kind of like my little king on the castle, which is totally ass backwards. My little castle on the hill, or my king in the castle, or I am the king of the castle. Another 2. Star and King of Pentacles. There's a king, right? I said king of Pentacles. I almost called you Taurus. You could be dealing with a Taurus. You could have Taurus placements. King of Pentacles. That's my Taurus card. Cancer, everything that you do right now, every little thing that's coming up in life where, I don't know, let's just say credit score. Let's just start with something like that. It tends to take a while. Like, you can drop that score overnight by 300 points, but it'll take you 16 years and 52 days to build it back up, 150 points from where you were. It's like you're looking back over things like that had long-term implications. It's like, it is big life stuff. It really is. Okay, the Star and the King of Pentacles. Long-term tangible effects of what you're still kind of toting around or dealing with in some way. And it's trying to find a way to make those 2 things work together. It's like, let's say a credit score, right? Like, how do you have a shit credit score? You ran through a spot of bad luck. Who hasn't been there, 10 years ago? You kind of gave up hope in a lot of ways, but now you need a car, and how do you get a car without a good credit score and the way the economy works. And I'm just going to say this. You ever see, there was a meme on Facebook and it says, what was it? Something about your credit score, or no, how is it? Cheating. That's what it was. Cheating should affect your credit score. If Susan can't trust you, why should Nationwide? Something like that. Just made me think of that for some reason. But I don't know. Here we are. This is me. You guys have been here with me for a while. You know how I am, or how spirit brings things into me. But you know, it's like you really did try, right? But it's just like you kind of said, in the case of the efforts, I'll worry about that later, or that one little medical bill. You know, it's, you know, I don't know why I'm even bringing money up. I guess the King of Pentacles, but it does affect house and home, right? Fourth house and home. Check and see what you've got in your fourth house placements in your chart too. But there is something about that though, that it's creating some kind of longing here for you. Some kind of review in the month of December. 9 of Swords, yeah, you're worried about the 5 of Cups. Sideways, there's some regrets there. 7 of Swords, like, tried to avoid this. There's no avoiding it anymore. Cancer, I'm going to tell you though, like, what? For funsies, right? One, you cannot go back to the past, and you cannot undo what's been done. Can't make up for lost time. You know, we can live with regrets if we want to, but what the hell's the point in that? What you spend your good moments right now worrying about shit that you can't control from the past. And if you're in worry, that means you're living in the past. If you're in anxiety, you're living in the future, right? So your worry about what was or wasn't done in the past cannot be treated or cured, right? It is what it is. But it's where we go from here, right? So let's just say you find out you still have that medical bill from 6.5 years ago, and you need to clean this up now in another half a year. Like, they could wipe it out. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Dare I make contact and just take care of this? Like, what do I do? You know, Cancer, ultimately, whatever the scenario is, you know, you're the only one who can make that decision. But I would say to you, it's like going back. I would jump forward in time and think about all the things you could learn, or what you would even now, as you sit here, go back and tell you, I'm going to say 9 years ago. What would you go back and tell you 9 years ago? What advice would you give to yourself about whatever it is that you're ruminating on? Or all the things over the years that you've spent time ruminating on, reviewing. Was it worth it? Could you have done something about it then? You can't really change it now, but the way you handle it moving forward is what's important, right? So this is a big opportunity, believe it or not, Cancer. Uncomfortable, be it uncomfortable. But it's a really big opportunity for like maturity and growth. Absolutely. The Sun, the Empress, and the Four of Wands. I'm going to tell you something. It's not, I'll make this real clear to you. It's not that you've never been worthy of, or whatever story you were sold and you bought it hook, line, and sinker, or what you believed. And look at this. You got the Warrior, which to me is like the 9 of Wands, and there's the 9 of Wands, and you've got the 9 of Swords. You got 2 9s, right? You've got the Midhaven, which 36 breaks down to another 9. You've got 3 9s sitting here. It's a big lesson of closure, and it's a collective number 9, right? 2025 is a 9 collectively for all of us. Whatever story you sucked in, inhaled, believed, bought, was sold and chewed on that thing like it was the best thing ever, that said you weren't worthy. You can't have that house on the hill. You can't have your knight in shining armor. You can't summons the life that you require for yourself. Your glass will always be half empty in some capacity. And you were supposed to spend your everlast days worrying, stressing about the past, freaking out about the future, looking back in regret, and being anything but your Empress self. Man, woman, it does not matter. There is and again, it does not matter your gender. There is a divine feminine part of you right now that's seeking luxury of oneself, in oneself, if you have been in warrior mode, like huffing and a puffing. You know, it's like kind of like the big bad wolf who's been out there huffing and a puffing on the bricks, trying to take things down and protect itself. And, you know, granted, the wolf was trying to eat the piggies, and I don't think he would run around trying to eat piggies, but it's, you think about how exhausted he had to be trying all those different ways, right? Instead of just going and getting his own place. It's kind of like that, Cancer. I hope it's making sense. Like, I'm not saying that you haven't done it for yourself or haven't done it on your own, but there's something about the exhaustion of what it takes to build maybe with other people or the wrong people, because I do feel like with this Four of Wands, that person's partnered up in that picture. There's a cause to celebrate between those two, right? The dating game. Chuck Woolery, 2 and 2, we back in 2 and 2, right? Or however he said it. I do feel there's a partnership here. But it's like there's still something from the past, Cancer, that says, I just heard I need to rectify this. For a handful of you, it might be with people. It may not even be a place. Has your, thank you, Spirit. Has your heart felt like home since you cut out a person, or since a person cut you out too? That's an interesting thing. I don't think that's for everybody at all. But it's something to do with a person that was very loving, very nurturing, very kind, maybe even naive, to be honest with you. Spirit said this was during a darker time. Yeah, you let them go. Or they let you go, too. I mean, that's very possible, too, Cancer. But I don't think your heart has felt the same since. It's almost kind of like you let somebody or some circumstance of a situation turn you cold. It's like you could have the biggest glowing heart about you, and then this back little piece like this is just like dim. It needs to be revived, right? It needs to be revived. What is that about, Spirit? Listen to me. That is my card of home. It's my Four of Wands in this deck. Bonfire, safe haven, flame, home, sing, dance. What the hell is this one? The Four of Wands. What are they doing? Celebrating home. They're celebrating success. They're celebrating life. They're celebrating foundations, the 4 pillars that are built. Right? There's a cause for celebration here. You've got to believe. Pet in the reverse. Finances. It's almost like you got taught to believe how to not be successful. That's going to sound crazy. It sounds crazy. But it's like watching people be on the brink of success so many times and then watching them fail. So it's like it kind of got beat into your head in some way that this is the way it goes. Like you build it up, you get so close, and then you just know it's going to fail. So you just kind of, I don't think you've stopped intentionally. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, this is where my drive stops. So here we go. It's like driving a mile. You're a mile from home and you drive 3/4 of the way and just park the car and start walking the rest of the way. Like, what? Who does that? You've got the momentum. Keep going, right? Just go the rest of the way. Who sang that? Go to the distance. It was I don't know, call it grunge or whatnot, but go the distance. Somewhere along the line, Cancer, You got taught not to go the distance. Whether it was fear of vulnerability, fear of success, fear of failure after the success, fear of being able to achieve something that was rightfully meant for you, fear of being happy, having it all ripped away. Fear's been a redundant theme in these reads. Two things. I'm trying to find which side of this they want me to go to first. For some of you who, how do I put this? I don't want to call it struggle, but I'm going to say it could be a hell of a lot better. Let's go there. Financially. This has to do with finances. Very heavy. Collection and finances. Have you ever, like, depending on where you are in the world, it's all different, right? But have you ever truly seen, if you have kind of always struggled to get by, and I mean like legit always kind of just paycheck to paycheck kind of life. No big woohoo for even a moment in life. Nothing fancy. Plain Jane Cancer. Because cancers can be very much into the aesthetics, right? So I don't mean any condescending nature by that, but I'm just trying to paint the picture of what I'm being shown here. So if you've lived a very basic life, Cancer, Spirit wants you to find the balance of the, hello love, of the beauty of maybe the world itself. King of Pentacles, right? That's of the world. Being in the world. Taking on, maybe, it's going to be weird for me to say take on some 3D experience. Knight of Cups. Because it's like, I don't think you've believed, like, let's just for funsies go. You've always liked a Mercedes. Never could afford to have one. And you're like, I can dream about it, right? Like, I can dream about you, well, I can dream about the car. What if you just went and did it? Like, what if you believed enough in yourself to just say, you know what? I'm going to work really hard on this credit score. And, we're just going to use that as the human example, right? Doesn't mean that that's what's going on. So that I can see if I can do that. It's like pushing yourself without running out of steam at the last quarter of the mile to go home. And you're like, I'm just going to park the car and start walking. I'm making it harder on myself than it needs to be. Like, if you've been in that position where you've not had a lot, what has truly stopped you from going the distance? Now, the flip side to that. If you've been on the other end of money, finances, prestige, where, dare I call it, a little bit lavish, you don't have to want or need for anything, have whatever you want, buy that designer purse, like whatever it is for you. What is that about, Spirit? Why are we bringing that up? It's caused a lot of chaos in your life. Take a look, and you may already be sitting back and taking a look at the types of people that has brought into your life. Are they the people that you only hear from at Christmas? Are they the friends that just want to hang out on a Friday night and go to the mall with you because you're probably going to buy dinner? There's a real flip-flop happening here, Cancer. If you've been on the financial lower end of the scale, Spirit wants you to believe in yourself to be on the other end. Not that you're going to be like, go from humble to like cocky and arrogant kind of thing. But they want you to find the balance to believe that you're worthy of. For those of you that have had the ability to have that, and it's worked well for you in this lifetime, as we move into 2026, Spirit wants you to slow down and take a look at the partnerships that living that lifestyle has brought in? Are they shallow or are they spiritual? Do they call you just to say, hey, how you doing? And if you do have people in your life, Cancer, that check in just to check in with you, I want you, and it sounds kind of so funky to talk about like status in a spiritual read, but there's a reason for this, right? There's a lesson in that. But the ones that do check in on you, dare I say compare, Spirit's giving it to me, compare them to the ones that have more, or the ones that allow the facade to continue that they have more. You see what I'm saying? The different types of personalities. What has that brought you? I feel like some of you, as I say that, 5 of Wands, madness, conflict, chaos, judgment. You may have even most recently seen the colors, the true colors of some people to the lengths that they would go. I mean, you look at this, I guess, octopus kind of creature now that I'm looking at it. All his different tentacles. It's like he's got wands too. This might be my new 5 of Wands card in this deck. I've never seen it like that before. They got their wands and they're beating, and here's this poor little guy down here all by himself, right? And this big old monster's got all the tentacles, and he could just suck him up in one swoop, right? I just heard stupid humans fighting with each other all the time, in competition with each other all the time. Take a look at those people, Cancer. Some of you could be realizing, like, maybe the further away you are from those situations, or where you grew up, or what groups or circles you were once part of, the further away you get from them, the better off you're going to be. Queen of Cups, there you are. 8 of Wands in reverse. Because I feel like in some of these situations, you have gone silent. And it's been a long time coming. But now they need you to believe. Yeah, Temperance. Temperance wants to turn in the upright position from sideways. Your angels, your guides, your ancestors, 2 of Swords, are like, I need you to see the dynamic here, Cancer. And that's what you're missing. 2 of Swords to the world. It's this one little piece of this, I'm going to call it the materialistic world. That it's like, how could you think that those two things, right? I said, like, it's like saying, okay, we're going to have a conversation around your finances, essentially. But this is supposed to be a spiritual, it's a spiritual channel. It's what we do. We come here to grow and learn. Why would we think that those two things would really go hand in hand about the status of the people in your life, right? But that's what they're wanting you to review. And this 2 of Swords is kind of like, you didn't want to see that these two things go hand in hand. Like, I'm going to be, I guess, really blunt. Like, and I had someone tell me one time that I was trash. White trash, and that's how it was worded, and that I was blank trash from where I came from, right? Like, that county's kind of trash. And, it wasn't, I didn't grow up in the most prominent place. It wasn't great. It was nice when I was a kid, and then everything shut down, right? Factory jobs shut down. The whole town turned to depression. It was just a downfall, like many, many blue-collar towns. And I watched people, right, grow up there who just kind of believed that was what we did, right? Like, we I don't want to say lived off the system. I'm not being condescending. I believe everything is there for all of us for whatever we need it for. So please don't mistake what I'm saying to you. But it was like they just kind of succumbed to that was just going to be life forever. They were never going to leave that town. They were never going to further their education. Mom was a stay-at-home, so I was going to be a stay-at-home kind of thing. Or, it's the childhood trauma, right? It's like, growing up in a house where there's abuse, you end up in a house most often where there's abuse, right? Struggles. Well, the only thing you saw was the good example was struggle, so what do you do? You're going to struggle. Going to think you're not good enough because mom didn't think she was good enough, so guess what? You're doing the same thing. Dad ended up working himself to death and drinking himself to death. So what do? The same thing. There's something in that. And there's a little bit of pride and a little bit of ego in both sides of that situation. One says that I won't ask for help. And the other one says, well, if these people are in my life and we can do all these fun things together, then they must love me. They'd have to love me, right? There's denial on both sides. And there's something about that right now because Spirit wants you to move. Whether it's physical location, whether it's a mental way of living or seeing things, accepting things. But no matter what, Cancer, in some capacity, you are to M-O-V-E, move. And it's got to do with that, with the dynamics, if I could talk, around you, or what you have accepted for yourself. A very, very deep and powerful read. And it's something that's already been triggered within you. This is just Spirit is saying your confirmation that what you didn't think it was is everything that it is. And I'm pretty sure I just seen that screen just blink, and I don't even know why. I've had these weird, I guess you could call them paranormal, odd experiences happening here all day. But there's a reason. So, as I say that to you, I'm sending you all so much love. I'm going to leave your read there. Personal reads are open and available. Reach out to me via the email in the description box below about section of the page. I'd love to hear from you. I'm sending you all so much love. Take care of yourselves in December, and I will see you all again soon.